and drew. I didn't know what awaited on the other side of where I knew. At the first I kept my silent hopes, I hid them in my heart from people who were all afraid to tear the world apart. But I'm not.
Hello everybody! Welcome back to Qualifier number 3, Game 3 between Hamsters and Closers. Should be a good time. We'll see how this particular story of this round of 16 comes to a close.
Game 3 at round of 16. That's just phenomenal.
It's a good time.
Oh, we're exactly having that. We are having the best time here because not only is the studio awesome, these games are awesome, this qualifier awesome, our sponsors are awesome. Like, this awesome cup is
The beers apparently are awesome.
Yeah, I saw those tweets, and I even shaved mine a little. I'm not worthy, sir.
Do you want to know how a real man shaves?
With a knife?
He doesn't.
All right.
Let's move on to the picks.
Ouch!
Game 3 of this best of 3 series. Hamsters picking up Genji, Coco, and Sentry. Closers deciding to close this particular matchup with Genji, Coco, and Gnau.
Gnau! That's
Gnau.
That's a first for the stream today.
Well, it makes sense considering that we're on Ribbit 4. So right now, Hamster is looking to use Genji and Sentry to really fight these fights as a durable team. Like, they are a very hard to kill team. Even the Coco now is fairly protected from everything. Closers, on the other hand, are deciding to abuse the map and certain characters on it. In this case, they really want the Gnaw to pick up and do the work that he can do on this map. But it's going to all depend on the interplay between Sentry and whether or not he can land his black holes, and Gnaw and whether or not he can get the early advantage and push that he can manage. The difference is that Gnaw cannot do a late game against Sentry, and Sentry is going to be fine throughout all parts of the game, especially later on.
So we want to end this sooner rather than later from the Closers' standpoint.
Closers need to win this early.
Well, they are on Ribbit. This is our first time for Ribbit, so 2 lanes, a fairly expansive jungle, and with the ward control, with those weedlings that Gnaw can actually bring to the table, he can actually put up a good case for controlling out the jungle, controlling out a lot of the movement in terms of the middle jump pad, as well as he could also just put down those weedlings into the lane to help just try to push it out on average. Usually you will see a lot of droid kills for Gnaw.
Normally, and a lot of those tend to be the neutral creeps, but there are so many in this map that are easily accessible with weedlings that
absolutely.
He can get that sword advantage, but it's going to depend on whether or not Hamsters can stay on top of the weedlings and whether or not Closers can actually make that early game happen against a team like this. So let's go ahead and let's see how this particular chapter of Qualifier 3 comes to a close. Let's get this party started. Here we are on Ribbit 4! I'm excited.
Ribbit real good.
Get it. All right, so moving right along, we got Felicia's Penny playing on a Sentry this time. We've got Poop Rex playing his Genji.
Again.
And finally, Frog Dude playing his Coco.
3 for 3.
3 for 3. We've got Keenan playing Gnau this time, which we have seen before. And look at him, he's so cute in his Bumblebee costume. Atypically playing the Genji, and finally on the Coco, we've got probably our buckets. Yeah, probably buckets as per usual.
The buckets 420.
Typical buckets.
Ah, yeah, that buckets, man.
That buckets. In comes the left click. Blue. Some of these item pickups right out of the gate are interesting. Actually, I'm curious to see how it's
more
gonna
varied than last round. Yeah.
Yeah. Sentry going for explosion size on his photon launcher, which is an upgrade I see very rarely, but that I really do enjoy. The Genji that Poop Rex is playing is going for the Storm Cloud and the Manure right out of the gate, so lots of damage over time, lots of damage just in general. Like, it's great at clearing out creep waves and farming. And Coco with base abilities instead of deciding to go into boots. On the blue team, we've got Piggy Bank into Last Paraday transformation. So Genji going straight for that push right out of the gate in the Hummingbird droids. Coco, Buckets going for ball into boots as per last time. And the Gnaw going for parts. So base abilities and now Weedlings more often. Weedlings everywhere. Weedlings all the time. That's what Keenan's going for.
Well, that's the idea, but didn't really get a chance to say this before we tried the intros. This is a team that can deal with Weedlings phenomenally well.
Particularly Genji going Storm Drum. Yeah,
Like, I'm curious if this was a first pick, second pick, or third pick Nah. Because if this was a third pick Nah and you knew that this team was coming, ooh.
that might have been a drafting mistake, to say the least. To make up for it, they are trying to go for as hard push early game as possible. They do have the Hummingbird droids coming out, but again, they have a lineup that can deal with that.
Yeah.
Storm Drum is exceptional at pushing out early game, and it's really good for his farm too. So Pooprex is going to get a lot of money really quickly. He's already sitting at 549 solar, at 550. That's the highest in the game already. He's doing really, really well on that front. And now they're going in for a kill. Atypically taking a lot of damage, and will he die to the dot? No, I think he'll just barely live. So Atypically just escaping by the skin of his teeth, and now is going to have to spend a long time at home healing and had to do that long walk. He's lost out on a lot of time he can be spent farming.
Yeah, and Keenan, you know, he has been setting up a lot of these, but look at Pooprex. He just sees it, and he storm drums it, and it's gone. At the same time, Coco can ball them because they don't have any kind of weedling health yet. It's not going to be an instant kill, but it's going to be an easy cleanup, and we're not controlling anything with this now right now. Like, we might actually have to abandon the weedlings and go full-on poison.
Yeah, and that's usually a much safer build, I find, but going weedlings in this matchup was a fine idea. It's just because of the people that they're up against and the upgrades they picked up, that would be unwise to continue spending money. And you've only spent 110 solar and your piggy bank on it right now. Like, it could be worse. Maybe backing out of it would be a good idea, or just wheeling, or using the weedlings as placement damage. So it typically goes down to Frog Dude, which is good for them. Ice Bucket, you know, pretty low, but picks up the health pack, so he'll be fine. Keenan finally getting a little bit of worth out of his weedlings. But that's going to be short-lived as that weedling goes down to Pooprex's attention and left clicks.
Now, that was the Black Hole Sun that didn't actually look that impressive, but then it just kind of sucked in everyone else, and we got a first blood out of it. Keenan, again, hasn't been really faring that well. He can't actually really afford to stay into the lane right now, so he goes back and he heals, and lane pressure is absolutely going the way of Hamsters. They are staying on top of these weedlings, they are pushing up these lanes, and now with a kill under their belt, this might be the first time that they actually take a solar lead if they can keep up this pace.
Absolutely, and what's particularly interesting about this is that
Keenan
decided to go for range on this bit. Anyway, he goes down to some to the left clicks out of the Genji. Now Frog Dude very low. He's going to die to the dot on Keenan and the Genji together combined. Actually, no, wait, no, Genji doesn't have any dot. Never mind.
Must have been poisoned.
No, it was just the poison off of
Nah.
Nah. Just the poison off of Nah. So I thought that might have been a combination of factors, but not in this case. So last hit going towards the Nah poison. And the blue team getting their first kill. It's now 2-1 in favor of the Hamsters.
So Buckets into the bottom lane. Now, we're going to keep a really close eye on Buckets because 2 games in a row, he's been the breadwinner. He has been the guy that has taken home all the solar. But this round, he's actually lagging behind. So I'm curious to see how he can actually play from a position that's behind rather than, you know, overwhelming dominance.
Yes.
And, you know, this is a different map. Ribbit has a lot of floor space. We actually see a ball build coming out of Naval. Not Naval, Frog Dude.
Yeah, and if there's one thing that I'm noticing here is that with left-click builds on Coco, if you're ahead, they work great. But if you're behind, you're going to have a very, very rough time trying to do very much. As left-click can be easily punished by a team that's got somewhat better, like just a better sense of the game, like a better position in the game. They can just tank it or deal with it or use their other abilities to out-kite it or something. So right now, that seems to be the case as Sentry picking up now the gravitation upgrade, so that way the Black Hole Sun now has a much stronger gravity pull. You've got Genji, still hasn't gone back for money yet. He to spend any money yet. He's currently sitting at 570 solar before he goes home. There's going to be a shopping spree shortly. And both lightning ball damage is being picked up by Coco out of 3 possible upgrades, I believe. So that's looking pretty good. Storm Drum now finished, going for an interesting upgrade on the Cocoon. So now there's the heal on it. Keenan being caught up by the black hole there, but is going to just walk away fine anyway.
I was curious to see if he's actually going to jump that solar boss and go looking for that health pack. Something to note, solar bosses on the map. I think this is actually the only competitive map that we allow that has a solar boss.
It's the only map with solar bosses.
Right,
Straight
so
up.
I'm not wrong.
No, you're not wrong. You're just maybe implying something else.
Whoa.
Oh, well played.
That stray ball from for Frog Dude actually taking home the kill on top of Buckets. Something that we haven't really seen is the big aggression towards the Solar Bosses, because Solar Bosses actually do reward the teams on a general level.
That they do. The other thing that they do is they can potentially get you killed if you're you get ganked by its or get you kills, yeah, which is a lot of fun. But in this case, it might not be a wise idea. What is instead happening is the teams are just trying to safely establish whatever lead or defend what they can. But with that first turret down, if they can get another one down, then maybe, just maybe, they can go ahead and start going for a Solar Boss. And if they go as a team, they can wipe it out very quickly. Like Hamsters especially can do that.
Yes.
Blue team can do it, but Hamsters can do it faster, I think.
Yeah, it's not an especially huge objective, but hey, Solar is Solar. It's like farming under the worm. After enough repetitions, it's going to feel really good. You know, same idea here with the bosses. Not only will you get some cash in your pocket, but you also gain all your health back at the end of it all as well.
Absolutely. And the other thing that farming the Solar Bosses does is that it gives everybody on your team 20 Solar. So it's not just you getting the benefit, it's your whole team.
Yep.
Oh, Poop-Rex.
Is that enough applications of 20 Solar and you're going to be several hundred ahead?
Yeah, well, even after one application of it, your team is 60 ahead.
Yep,
like all told, that's just it's a lot of Solar for the team in general. Like it's a kill's worth of Solar.
Speaking of a kill, atypically is actually going to be on the menu. Yeah, I'm not really into the butterflies myself, but red team is actually going to dine nicely on it. 4-1 for their score at 8 minutes in. They're doing well on this map.
Absolutely, they're really putting forward their best foot here, and I think that has a lot to do with some of the builds that they've gotten. Bucket's going down again, so careful application of judicious force and brutality. We've got this top tower taking some damage.
Body blocking, man.
Yep, they're taking the damage. They're doing their best to just get their to do as much damage as possible, and they might succeed in doing a sizable amount of it actually before backing off at long last. So I'm just looking at these builds right now, and
Frog Dude going with some hands. He wants to finish up.
Yeah, like he's ahead now, so he's gonna go ahead and start building into hands because he can afford to. He's got the advantage. Keenan has the range on the spit, which is not damage. It's just makes it easier to land.
Yeah, you were a little concerned about that earlier as well.
I was and still am. I'm curious to see what he decides to go to do with it, because again, I can understand why he'd do it. Just in this case, I feel like it might be misplaced, but we'll find out. We'll see. Maybe he builds into Amplify. I think that would be a good move with the slow, that we can apply it from a distance safely. That would be an all right idea, but then you don't have the damage, so you really need to think about that too. It takes up one of your utility slots, so you really have to choose your next upgrade carefully, I find. And you also have, just like, we're still sticking with left click on Buckets. We're not doing anything else. So Buckets still has to rely on being close to people to do anything, and being close to people means being close to Genji, means being close to Sentry, means being close to Coco that has now got the same level of left click upgrades.
Well, that could definitely be a bad time, and we've seen a lot of on-paper, threats and counters and things that you shouldn't do, but player skill does play a huge factor into things that you should or shouldn't do. And right now, Hamsters is showing really good skill on this map. 6-1, they're looking to push into the core with that top turret. They might actually just even take this detour and get this bottom one. You can see the range coming out there on that spit. He can almost spit from tower to that midsection, but there's no follow-up. The gradual damage is useless if you can't get a kill on it.
Well, in this case, they ended up getting a kill because Frog Dude put himself in a bad spot. He decided, I'm going to come in here next to a Coco that can land a lightning ball on me fairly easily, which Buckets then proceeded to do. So that's,
yeah, poison with a follow-up is amazing.
Yeah, exactly. So in this case, that's going to be a little bit more damage and some other upgrades being picked up by the blue team. It seems like the Na's gone for slow and damage on his spit. So definitely going for a long range, safely applied damage. But that poison damage going to be a little bit hard to justify in this case, or to keep up because of a severe amount of heal that they've got going on. So combination of Felicia's Penny and Poop-Rex doing a good job there of...
oh, nice cancel from Buckets, but then he kind of went for a flight himself. Poop-Rex will live to see another day.
Yeah, which is good for him. Absolutely necessary. Keenan taking a bit of damage here as he's getting chased down by Poop-Rex, and he's going to get behind the tower. So now Poop-Rex is going to just go ahead and heal off of his upgrade there that spams little heals off of his cocoons. So,
and that's probably going to be the end of that turret right there.
Almost. If they would just get in a left click.
One left click. My kingdom for a left click. Well, Felicia's Penny was thinking of it, but it's actually just going to get off that Black Hole Sun. Down goes the Keenan. Buckets is now actually on the retreat, and that leaves us with Atypically, who's actually fighting out against his Butterfly brethren, but they're not going to kill each other, not yet.
Nope. Instead, wisely probably, Atypically is going to back off and get some HP, while Atypically does what he can and what he could, and then he backed off too. So, out comes the Black Hole Sun. The Black Hole Sun is going to hurt a lot. Buckets is going to end up going down to Pooprex's judicious application of Butterfly shots. And now it's a 3v2 in favor of the red team. Team Hamsters now looking to maybe get some more push down on this blue team. They are way ahead in a lot of respects. Solar 1600, 1700, 1500 on the blue team, sitting at 1000, 1300, and 900 and something.
1500 Solar.
There is they are a magnitude ahead in terms of their Solar as a team right now. Lightning Ball coming out is forcing the other two members of the blue team to get zoned out, and Atypically going to come up to the upstairs area to do whatever push he can manage.
I'm a little curious that they actually decided to push out bottom because they had an extra tower here down to push. I mean, they've cleared out the entire lane. Is that poison going to be enough on the Frog Dude?
If that Frog Dude does not pick up HP, but Frog Dude is going to pick up HP and it's going to end up saving him, despite the fact that he could have died. But
still, I'm surprised that they pushed it through bottom because top, there's one less tower to actually take down. But whatever works for them, whatever gets the job done, right?
Oh, the other thing to keep in mind is where the creep wave is and how fast you can get to that creep wave to help push it. So in this case, they had a better creep wave on bottom. It was almost at the tower. They could push with it, and they did. In case of the top, now they want to push out that top at least a little bit, but keeping this bottom end split push seems like a good idea. But I guess that they're going to just try to go in for the finish here. Bucket's taking a lightning ball to the face, so does Pooprex. Pooprex not going to teleport home and probably spend some money for the first time in forever. Let's see what he buys, because I'm curious. The Sentry bought attack speed and damage on his left click, so
there he goes.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so he ends up picking up speed on Blessing in the first place, Jagger Eggs, and Slow on the Cocoon. So his Cocoon now deals damage and gives him lifesteal, and also slows people that come out of it. So if you get Cocooned, you are very likely going to die.
Well, speaking of death, Atypically down to half. Keenan is actually on the retreat there as well. Leaves us with Buckets, who does get hit with that Cocoon into the Black Hole Sun, but Frog Dude is too busy with that boss. But had Buckets actually stolen out that boss, would have been actually huge for him. But at the same time, the Wombo is just very clear here. Cocoon into Black Sun or vice versa, and then you got a ball on the back of that there from the Frog Dude.
Yeah, and it's not even that. It's just any application of Black Hole Sun that doesn't go badly will go well. Genji can left click and do a bunch of damage, and Blessing comes out, so they have a lot of survivability. Like, Blessing's always good. They have a much easier time landing Black Hole Suns because of Cocoon and all that good stuff. And down goes Buckets, down goes Keenan. This red team now looking to end this game right here, right now. Atypically going to get lightning balled, and he's very low. This is game over.
Yeah,
he can't get close.
No.
He can't get close. He gets zoned out. He almost gets lightning balled, but the Cocoon's going to end up saving him there. And now they're backing off a little bit, but now it's Sentry just sitting there, and a lightning ball comes out, picks off Atypically. That's going to be a team wipe to finish it. And Hamster is going to take this series 2-1 in this final game, commanding a win of 12-2 in terms of kills. And all of their turrets up to 3, being to the 1 left up for the blue team. They didn't even have to destroy all their bases.
All their base
are now a pile of dust.
So first game, 16-17, slugfest, 27 minutes. Game number 2, complete mirror match, not uneven at all. Like, that was its own slugfest in its own right. 21. Game number 3, 15 and 12-2.
Yeah,
Ribbit did not do closers any favors.
No, and neither did the Gnaw. I think that the Gnaw was probably the weakest link there in a lot of respects. But let's discount that team makeup.
0-5 and 1-4.
I'd like to point out the farm. Who is the top farmer? Genji with 2,081 solar.
By 74.
Yeah, it's not by a lot.
By 74 solar.
I will grant that. But he farmed so well from beginning to finish. He was
Storm Drum, man.
Yeah, like he would stay out there forever. He only went back to shop twice.
Oh, I love the music. It's very fitting. Awesome right now
Awesome.
with the mini mix.
Again and again and again.
Yeah, but you're right. I mean, the Genji did extremely well. It was a fantastic pickup here for game number 2. They dealt with Na very, very well. Na did actually have a kill. He was 1-3. 0-5 for the enemy Genji, though.
Yeah, and the enemy Genji went for early push. And that's the thing I'm beginning to realize is that that transformation upgrade, if the other team can deal with droids easily, and they could in this case, they had explosion size and lots of damage off on the sentry, and then the Genji had the ability to just left-click and wipe out a wave of creeps easily. So they had the ability to deal with Hummingbird droids. That 200 or something solar that you spent on that upgrade was wasted. All the upgrades on Weedlings, so you went piggy bank to get into the parts. That's piggy bank wasted effectively on Weedlings that could not stay down to save their own lives. And finally, Bucket's going for a left-click build that could not take off in time.
Right. Yeah.
So overall, just there are some build choices that are a bit wonky, and the other team had like Hamsters had Buckets had Closer's number. I think.
Buckets too. So we will say goodbye then to the Closers and wish them luck if they do want to enter tomorrow in qualifier number 4. And that means that we are done now, round of 16 for our coverage, and that we are moving in to quarterfinals.
Which is awesome.
It is,
I'm excited.
We're getting ever so closer. Best of 3 quarterfinals, best of 3 semifinals, best of 3 finals. We're going to find out who we're actually going to induct with those finals into the pool to join All-Star, to join Leg, 99 Cent, and Boss.
Yeah. No, it's already shaping up to be excellent. But from what we've seen today, today has been an
phenomenal.
excellent. It's been a phenomenal day for these teams.
The new year has brought a lot of new teams and some really good ones of that.
Yeah, that's like they've been a lot of fun to watch. Every team that's played today has done a really good job of trying their best and has been entertaining, and they've probably learned at least something. Even the teams that lose are like, okay, you know what? I played in a tournament and it was a lot of fun. I hope, but
they also, people that come out of this, we don't ever draft in Awesome Knots, so that's a new thing for a lot of people.
Oh yeah,
with the not drafter. Not drafter, by the way, they receive a shout out because they're awesome. Helping us out here. But, drafting is new to them. Picking, counter-picking, banning. You really got to think a lot about the weaknesses and the strengths. And sometimes we're just not used to that. It is very much a jump into the game and away you go, unless you are a part of like a clan or a community that does this on a regular basis. So we really do hope that, the team members here, you might be out, but hopefully you have that experience with you and you could use it to strengthen your play.
Yeah, absolutely. So, go ahead. Go forth, explore, find those unconventional builds like, explosion size sentry. I thought that was a really cool upgrade idea. I was excited to see that. I was excited to see how the Na would build. It's really cool to see this stuff.
Well, so we keep saying this. Take the experience, come on back, because do you know what you can be fighting for when you come back in qualifier number 4?
What are we fighting for?
We'll show you right now, because with over $5,600 prize pool, the biggest in Awesome Knots history, Alienware is really coming out big. First place is taking home not only cash, but 3 of the new Alienware Alphas, 15 copies of Awesome Knots, and 3 skin bundles apiece. Second and third, of course, they're not going to go home empty-handed. They do get some cash, some Awesome Knots, some skin bundles. 15 copies each means you can introduce a lot of people into this game. Same here with 4th to 8th. They go home, again, 15 copies of Awesome Knots and 3 skin bundles on top of that. Everybody, though, and we even saw a team named after this, get themselves a Teddy Ayla skin. And that's courtesy of Ronimo.
So wait, what you're telling me is that we're playing for over $5,000 worth of stuff.
That is correct.
What? 5,000? Seriously?
5,000. It's over 5,000.
Okay, well maybe next time we can get that a bit higher. But anyway, this is awesome. That's a lot of cool stuff.
So you might be out.